All right. Hey, I've got a little bit of time, not too much, about 45 minutes or so, but I thought I would recreate a painting that I did years ago. Let's see if we can do this. And there is little outlining, if any. Let's see if we can move that just slightly down. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use white and black. Well, actually, just take a look at my palette. White, black. I've got a phthalo blue, a deep green. Can't remember which purple I put on there, but it's a pretty dark purple. And I think it was one of, yeah, well, any purple's going to do. I did a magenta rather than a permanent red or a crimson because I want it to be a little more pinky for this one. I've got pink peach, yellow ochre, yellow, and a teal. All right. And, oh, why do I always leave my wash brushes? Okay. And I'm using all wash brushes. That's pretty much what I always do. But use whatever you have. You are probably going to want something flat if you can get it just nice and flat, because that's pretty much how we do all of the edges. But everything else you can substitute. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is take, that is the paint. I'm going to take a little bit of, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to start with a little white, and I'm going to do yellow in my center. So back here, what I like to do is just get a nice bright, not too yellow, but a nice bright yellow center. And then I start adding dark colors around the edges. So let's see, I'm going to move that just for right now and we'll add it back. But taking a nice dollop of white. And do make sure when you take your brush out of the water that you dab it always on a paper towel. You never want to bring water to the canvas unless you're super fast. I have to say I do it, but okay, I'm just getting in the middle there. And you're going to use a lot of white. Well, I'm going to use a lot of white. You are going to do whatever you want. So you are just going to, now you can choose if you want, which one? I'm going to do a little of both. And I don't want it too glaring. So anytime I add, I'm just going to move it along. And I'm doing kind of the stripes up and down. Oh, I'm going to need a lot more white for this. So I use a couple different whites. And the reason is because some I want really thick so I can get a bit of texture. And some, like for this, I just want a cheap white that's going to move my paint around. So this particular one is Artist Loft. And it's a great one for just moving color. I'm not too concerned about longevity because the color is going to be faded anywho. And so this will still last decades. Still last decades. It's when you've got your really bright colors that you need to pay a little more attention. Or really vivid colors. Weird, I've got colors coming out of my brush. That's okay. Huh. That is really strange. All right. And if you want, you can give a little of that yellow ochre a try. And you could, move it a little bit more like this if you wanted. Just try to keep, if you're not loving the lines, you could always kind of go a bit of a circle. Good. All right. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little bit more in here. And I do love warming up the yellow with that yellow ochre. So I feel like the yellow ochre is a little too dark. Okay, and this, oh my goodness, is going to give your arm a workout. Okay, I like that. That's kind of fun. Just a little bit here and there. Just turn on. And good. So I want to come in and just start laying some color down up here. And again, it's not a ton. And you can, I got a little bit of dark. I'm going to plug in an additional light. Let's see if this is helpful. That's probably good. Okay. I'm just getting color, just a little color. And now, good. And I'm going to flip this over because it's easier for me to get color on that side. We're going to go through a lot of white. Maybe you won't. You could always take a baby wipe and smush in color. That would be really pretty too. But okay. Yes. So now for some fun stuff. So I'm going to come in and I want to take a little bit of my phthalo blue and my purple and kind of decide. I'm going to go dark corners. Now, I want to have somewhat of a gentle hand, so don't put too much paint on this. Pull it down and just start to just pull it down like this. Dun, 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 dun. Woo! And maybe a little bit. If you need to water your paint down, dip it in the water, bring it back to your paint, and pull straight out. Don't go stirring the pot because it's not really that helpful. But see how much more it moves. And I just kind of get the sides. You could even do a little bit of green. Just get it in there. So basically the edges, I've got some white in here, but they're going to be green with slightly darker corners. So I'm going to still go with my purple and I'm going to build up. And some are tall and some are short. That sort of thing. Be really, really gentle with it and just kind of have some fun. If those lines and sort of the texture bother you, you are going to use a lot more paint. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but you can always water it down. And I want longer strokes on the edges and then short as we come up. Something like that. And it's just really fun to do anyway. Good, good. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of pull this. I look like a duck. Whoops. Don't do what I just did. I can pull this out. And some should be longer. Some can be shorter. And then I'm going to skip a little bit. And I'll put more blue in that area. So now I'm just going to start adding blue in a little bit of this. And then I'll flip and do, ooh, because it's so fun. And it's fun to get it while things are wet, because then you've got some blendy stuff going. And again, if you need to add more water, just make sure that there are no drippies. Drippies aren't good. Not in paintings, not in personalities, unless you're trying to be a drip. It's kind of funny. Oh, that's so pretty. And I do like it when it's a little more liquidy so that it doesn't, I don't know. I like the streaks better than these little guys. Like maybe I throw that in there. It's kind of fun. Okay, and keep it going. And I'm just going to alternate with a little purple because I want purple. I want my corners to be a little darker than everything else. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to flip this over and do the same. And it's so pretty, you guys. Just have a light stroke. I'm going to cover the side again with green and dark purple. And my sides are not like, let's see if you can you see that? Not very well, huh? But I've got lots of the canvas showing through. This is kind of a wispier design. Wispy. Da 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 da. Ooh, I got a boogie woogie. Okay. Pull that in, pull that in. And remember, longer on the sides. At the tops, pull down. Few longer, kind of staggered, you know. Grab some of that blue. Fill in some area. Maybe I go longer there. Whoa! Ooh, a pretty. See if I can bring that a little closer. I'm not getting. That's such a glare. Well, I feel like I did buy a halo light, so hopefully I can use that next time and it'll be a little nicer. I'm hoping. Who knows? Oh, but it's so pretty. Just enjoy those colors and keep painting. Cause you're so colorful. Again, just gentle. You can always add more, but it's much harder to take away. Okay. There's an area like, I don't know, I'm really digging the blue today a little more than the purple, but purple's pretty fabulous. So I want some blue in there. All right. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to start adding. I like to add a little smidgen of teal. Oh, and by the way, do look and kind of look at the whole thing and see if you feel like it's balanced. You know, like if it's, oh, I need a little something there, little something there. Ooh, too much, but you know what? I'm going to leave that because that's fine. Am I going to leave that? Yeah, if I don't, let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to leave that. There we go. Okay. So grab a teal, or You could always make a light blue at this point. I'm going to try a little teal. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the ticket. Can you guys see that? I hope you can see that. Yes. Yes, indeed. That teal is really, really pretty. I wish you were here in the room with me and you'd be able to see it. Be able to see it. Okay, boom. And just start to add. Pull it down. Pull it down. Pull it down. Good. Okay. And then come on into a little light blue. So I'm just going to take some of my white, some of my blue. Make a nice light blue here and there, I think. Yes. But I got to tell you, I don't love that nearly as much as I love the teal. Yep, I'm going teal. I'm going more teal. So that's kind of the ticket, is make sure that you are following the colors that you really, really love. And then, yeah. Follow colors that you love. Woo! 'Cause it's spring, not yet, but kind of, sort of, almost. Okay, how we doing there? And okay, I'm going to flash the light on just to see if we can see those colors any better. I really need to work on my whole studio setup. Almost. I've got some furniture coming tomorrow. And by coming, I mean I've got to go pick it up and somehow roll some 8-foot giant. They're not even, they're larger than bookcases, but anyway, they're some giant display pieces. I'm pretty excited though. It will really give me enough space, enough storage. Okay, good. Oh, and if it's too much, that's too much, darling. I'm coming in and I'm just going to soften. Just going to soften. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. And if you make a little dollop there, just gently. Oh, so if you find you're getting hard strokes, flick up. I don't know if you play golf, but, or, like softball or baseball or something, but you want to follow through on the stroke. So don't just, none of that. We want whoosh, follow all the way through. So keep going even when you have left the canvas, and you're going to find a much more feathery kind of look. Okay, and I like that. And occasionally, I don't mind it getting dark now. Good. So you can go in with more of those colors and have some fun. I'm going to start on some of my petals because that's what I want to do. That's just what I want to do. So I'm going to grab my 1-inch wash brush, but you could use a round. You could do anything for this. And my favorite thing to do is just start with a light pink. So I'm going in with white. Actually, you could even go in with peach. And lay some stuff down. Do you want 3? Do you want 4? Do you want 7? For some reason, I chose 7 in this painting. I've got 2 buds and 5 larger flowers, but you could do 3 large flowers and 4 buds. That actually might be what I do here. It's kind of fun. So I like to work in thirds. And you could put one right in the middle, then you got to sort of figure out all that stuff. Sorry, weird noises. So I'm going to offset it. And I'm just going to kind of, what do I want to do? I'm going to move this just slightly towards me and add, I think for sure I want a big one here. Can you even see that? So I'm going to I'll go with my brighter pink. And I'm doing ovals because that's really helpful to me. And then I'm going to counterbalance this like it's a topsy-turvy cake. Yeah. And then I'm going to do something here-ish, something like that. And then down here, slightly in, not as much as the other. What do I want to do? Like maybe here and maybe a bud here. I don't know. I kind of like, I'll see. I think I'm going to go with those and then figure it out. So I'm going to turn this off for just a second so I can see it a little better. Yeah, I kind of want a little something. So I'll definitely add some buds, but I'm not sure exactly. Maybe up here. That's kind of fun. I think that's good. All right, so the other thing that I like to do, and you can do this with anything you've got, is I do like to put in my stems. So I'm going to use my same brush. I'm just going to take the edge, and you can do this sort of number, but I just like to know where my stuff is going. And then maybe with this guy, I'm going straight down. Well, almost. I don't want it quite straight. And then with you, let's do something like that. Yeah, I like that. And then here, definitely in, of course. And I'm not loving that line, so I'm just going to come in and do that. That's better. And then this guy is going to go not quite to the corner, but something like that. And then we'll see what else I need. So I'm going to wash that green off. And I basically do this. So I come in, and my main color is going to be this pinky color. So I want you, oh, you know what I'm going to do first? I think it'll make your life easier if I do it. I'm going to grab a little black and give myself a center. So I'm going to do my center somewhere in here, somewhere maybe in here. And you can add purple. I like my centers to be purple for the most part, but a little black just for the drama. And then I'm going to do here. It's like a black hole. And then over here. And it can be textured or not, whatever floats your boat. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush and wash it. Okay. So you do have to be careful of the middle. You don't want it all, you don't want to get it in your paint, but that's fine. So the idea is that the tops are going to be, kind of around the rim, if you will, is going to be the lightest colors. We've got the middle band of the pink, and then we're going to use some purples and maybe even reds on the bottom. So I'm just going to start with pink and start moving in color like this. Now I'm going to add a touch of white just to give it some body, and watch out for your green. If you have time, let this dry. Like, come up and play with this a little bit. You can add a little lime green to it. Oh, let's do it, shall we? Can we add some lime green? That'd be really cool. Okay, hang on. Let's do it. So maybe I'll take the teal. Anyway, you can do whatever you want, but yeah. Oh, yes, that's the ticket, isn't it? See, sometimes having to play with things makes it all better. That is really pretty. I love it. Okay, good. And I'm looking at my old painting. That's pretty much exactly what I did. So I'm doing a little lime green here, little lime green, moving it up. Woof. And if it's too much, come back in with teal. Soften that up. Whoa, right? Come back in with dark blue. Soften it up. Anything you want to do. That's super fun. And then maybe give yourself some leaves. I'm going to give myself a little leaf. So just gently, that sort of thing. Maybe a little more. And you can be all sorts of gentle with this, or you can push nice and hard, whatever you want to do. And I think this is a great way to go there. And maybe even one whoosh. So it's coming up because it just doesn't care. And then we'll go whoo, right on in there. Make sure everything flows, right? Just kind of whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Trust yourself on those. Don't worry about being perfect. Just play around a little. Yeah, I'm going to do some over here for sure. Oh, that is just great. Okay, I'm really loving that. And that beautiful green up there is really fun. That needs a little. I'm telling you, you can work on this border for forever. It's just awesome to do. And then maybe even give it a little. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I'm coming in with my pink. And feel free, play around with these colors, but I'm coming in with some pink and white, and I want to just kind of rock it. So rockin' all, just follow this line, but make it choppy. Does that make sense? Follow the line, but make it choppy. Don't worry about what's showing. Don't worry. But that's really fun. And then again, follow that line, make it choppy. My pink is super translucent, but the white or the peach, of course, is not. So you can always do stuff like that. And so it's just kind of a little flick, flick. Okay. And then you come on the upside, flick. So basically, that makes sense. And this is just the base, just the, woo, just throwing pink paint everywhere. Okay. Super fun. And if you get some black out there, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, darling. Just get some layers on there. Okay. And same over here. And then I make the top smaller, usually. It depends on the angle. But if it doesn't look complete, complete it. Maybe a little, that kind of thing. Super fun. And you can always add, I'll show you, I've added some magenta. Whoa, so pretty. Just real loose, but all within sort of those parameters. Okay. So you can decide if you let everything dry in between layers. You sure can. I am going to use a thicker white, any whatever white you've got that's thicker. This one isn't commercially available. So, oops, I'm going to do that. Yeah. And then I'm going to throw in around the top, I'm taking a nice hunk of white and I'm popping that in. And it's totally fine if you get a little something in there. And then anytime you want to switch colors, you could clean your brush, but I just wipe mine off. Say I want to come in with the magenta. And I'm just going to move right on the bottom there into some of those colors. And then I also come in right against this top. And if that doesn't make quite enough sense, then I just cover it up again. And this one, I do the same thing. And just let it dry a little. And then we're going to use a whole bunch of white around here. And you can add some stuff like that. But see what it needs. See what it needs. Maybe it needs a little purple in here. A little purple with that red, maybe. Let's see. That's just really fun. In these middles, if you need, they're still tacky. They're not quite dry. But, you know, one of my favorite things to do is grab your brush and you can just dot. So I don't use the regular, you can sort of decide. I don't use the bristles. I use the back of the brush. And for me, why are we staying in the lines? Let's go out a little. And you can play with this all you want. You could even do teal in here. Something like that. And again, if it turns to mud or you can't get things to stick, just let it dry. It only takes a few minutes and it helps tremendously if you can. And then I'm going to pop in a little dark in the few of the little nooks and crannies. A nice, nice dark one in the bottom. And it really just helps it to come alive. Bum, ba-dum, bum. I think that's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to take this magenta and I'm going to add right in here. See if I can do it so we've got, there we go. And so I'm just pressing down, flicking up, pressing down, flicking up. And just play with it, you know. So again, pressing down and just gently moving in. Something like that. And if you need to, get a real nice dark bottom in here. And then I'm going to do a really nice dark bottom right around there. Okay. And I'm going to go through and do that for everything so that we're all kind of on the same page with those. So I'm going to come in here, this one, maybe this one has it right in there, definitely in there. And right in here. And again, I'm using a little purple and magenta, but I'm just kind of making it's almost a Cabernet kind of color. Kind of fun. Really beautiful. And I'm going to put the top things over here, so I just want to get those in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on that guy. Oops, right in there. And then it's grabbing the brush, pressing down, flicking in. Maybe this one's a little brighter, so I think I'll use less purple and go more pink. Yeah, that's totally what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's really fun. And then this guy is not quite as smooth as I want him to be. All right, and then I'm definitely going to give you, ooh, okay. Do we need more? Maybe a little dab. Okay, so once you've got the dark in, then we go for the light. And you can decide what your midtone is, and then I'm just going to throw it in. Adding more of that bright. Ooh. And then I'm going to hit the edges here with a whole lot of light. And they're always, every time I do this, it comes out differently. So don't hold yourself to some crazy standard. And if you want, really the best thing to do, you guys, is study from photographs, because then you have an idea of what nature, what stuff really looks like, and you're not bound to someone else's interpretation of reality. I mean, that's just kind of a life lesson, right? Don't be bound to others' interpretations of reality. I don't know. Oh, it's just fun. These are just more fluffy. I don't know. Maybe they're carnations today and not poppies. I'm not sure. And then, and then maybe in here. Should we do a little in there? And just, I think I'll go. And then, yes, I make sound effects when I paint. Oh my gosh, this is totally crazy. And if you're not loving something, just add more. Okay, good. And I'm going to come in there. And then I'm going to do some middles. Let's do some middles. I gotta get ready for a class. That's okay. What I'm going to do, I'm washing off a brush. I'm going do. I need a little drink of water. Okay, hopefully you didn't hear any of that. And I might pop in some of these. I might, just for a memento, make a few of these lines deeper. And that's just those are kind of fun. And else, yep, definitely deeper for you. Oh, I really like that. And what do I want to do? All right. So you can play with that as much as you want. I'm going to get back to my seed pods. And I'm starting with bright yellow. Woo! Yep, starting with bright yellow. And you can make these, it's actually a little more fun if they're not so structured. And make sure your paint isn't flying everywhere. Like you can stagger those. It's kind of fun. And then they're sort of floating and then go in. And the nice thing is you can always cover this up and just start again if you don't love it. Or if you do love it, you can do more. So yeah, I'm going to do the yellow ochre. It's kind of working for me right now. And you could always do something, you know, like you don't have to get all fancy schmancy. I might even like that more. I don't know. I'm going to do another one. And just yeah, I kind of like both. I'm leaving it because I can. So if you need, at this point, a little more space, kind of play around a little bit. I'm going to take a nice amount of white and yellow and just kind of pop open some things here. But I kind of want to make it really whimsy. What do I want to do? Maybe, oh yeah. So I've got a little yellow. That might have been too whimsy. Yeah, I don't want it to go against the grain. So just play around because it might be that you want to add a little white. Might want to add some extra colors here. You might want to pop in a little splash of something there. That's kind of fun. If there's too much of something, come out. Yeah, just play around. So if you want, you can make little buds. And I'm kind of tempted to, but at the same time, I like a lot of, kind of like what's going on. And I'm afraid to add too much more because it's quite bright and bold as it is. I'm like, I don't want to make it even more chaotic. But maybe I do. So if you wanted to, you could add, like in here, I added the little tiny buds on the original. And maybe I want to do that. Maybe I do a couple there. So same. I'm just going to take a nice hunk of color, medium wash brush. Let's pop in just a little something. You can do it that way, or you can do something a little more traditional. Or not traditional so much as something like that. And I'm not sure which one I like. Let's see. That's kind of fun. So then, of course, you got to come back and give it some leaves. And make sure you really love the color on there. You know, buds are really intense. I'm going to go back and add some really big spots of color. Big spots of color. Okay. And then I'll add something like that. I don't know. And then flick out a little. You could always go backwards too. You could do the. And that's kind of fun. Oh, I totally know what I want to do. I want to get splashy with it. Yeah, definitely want to get splashy with it. So I take, now you'll want to do this while it's laying flat. But I take a little water and a little paint, and just mix that up so it's kind of the consistency of a cream. And I hold my brush, not too firmly. I don't want a death grip, but I hold it kind of loosely, but firm enough. And I smack it. Who knows what I'm getting here? Yeah, that's what I want. And I know those are hard to see at home, but let's see if I can pull this forward. And you can kind of see the idea. Or maybe up here. Just gives it a little something. And you can do it even with teal. You could do it with any color you want to. Just make sure you are ready to get splattered if you're not careful. And that's what I want to do. Just give it a little something. Kind of fun. And I'm going to go back to the yellow, or no, white. That's what I'm going to go back to and do a little more. Oops. I think. Okay. I better get my party ready. I think they're showing up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys, I hope that's been really fun. And I'd love to see pictures of what you do. Happy painting. Bye.